I'm just a steward. I don't own this place. God owns it. I manage it. I want to be a great manager. So it's my responsibility to train people properly. If I'm going to be a good manager, I'm going to train people the best I can. I'm going to provide the best training. I'm going to provide them with skills so they can provide well for their family, and so on. Hey, this is Greg McAfee, and welcome to the Greg McAfee Show. Now let's get started. Hi, Greg McAfee here with the Greg McAfee Show once again. And as always, if you aren't subscribed to the YouTube or the pod channel, feel free to do so right now. Each week I put out this content because I am really passionate about helping your business grow. And I want you to succeed. So hit that subscribe button, turn on the notifications, and every week when I put out a new episode, you'll be the first to see it. Okay. Well, let's get started. Today I'm going to talk about training, the importance of training, the importance of you being trained, the importance of your team being trained. So training's not just important, it's vital. It's vital to your company. The companies that succeed do a lot of training. The companies that succeed spend hours a week in training. So let's talk about training and development. What's it mean to your organization? How often, first of all, I always start with the owner of a company. How often or how many hours a week do you spend in training? How many hours a week do you spend reading? How many hours a week do you spend watching either a podcast like this or a YouTube class on business growth? Where do you spend your time? Because if you're not spending time in learning and in training, then I guarantee you your company's not either. So the return on investment is huge for training. I don't look at training as an expense. I look at training just like I look at advertising as an investment. I am investing in my company. Some people say, well, Greg, if I train them, what happens if I train them? I spend hours of training and thousands of dollars in training and they leave me and go to my competitor. Well, the question is, what if you don't train them and they stay? I've always looked at this as I'm here to raise the bar at McAfee. I'm here to raise the bar with people that work for me, help raise their bar. I can't do it for them, but I will help. But I'm also here to raise the bar of our industry. What we've accomplished in the last 30 years is unreal. I was telling someone yesterday, when we came into the trade as a new one-man shop, Greg in a truck with no air, by the way. When I came into the industry, there were, dirty-looking vans with you could go to a hardware store and buy the reflective lettering where it said Joe's Heating. Stuff was all over the dashboard. Guys were wearing jeans and T-shirts. Now, not all companies, but a lot of them were out there. And as we came in and gradually raised the bar of professionalism, clean trucks, uniforms, no stuff on a dashboard, ever. After hour service, all the stuff that we've done, quick service, same day install, all that stuff that we've done, wearing shoe protectors, it gradually raised the bar in our industry. And pretty soon you started seeing more clean trucks, guys wearing shoe protectors, one-day installs, all that kind of stuff. And I think I helped a little bit with the hundreds of companies that I've coached and held boot camps, who have attended my boot camps. I've hoped I've raised their bar a little bit so they can help raise their bar in the industry. We need a much more professional industry, and I don't care what you're in. I don't care. If you're in a trade, we need to raise the bar in our industry, and it starts with training. So what are the benefits of training? First one's going to be improved employee performance. When we train others, and we train them the right way, by the way, and just so you know, I'm jumping around a little bit, but I always do. When someone comes into our company, they don't just get they don't get a few days of training. They don't get a few weeks of training. They literally get several months of training. And that goes for ones with no school. That goes with ones with a 1-year diploma. And that goes for some that come in here with 1 or 2 years experience. I am passionate about making sure that people know the McAfee way of doing business. And I am passionate no matter what department. If they come into our CSR department, they're not going to answer a phone for weeks other than just saying, "Hi, this is Greg. Thanks for calling McAfee Heating. Can you please hold?" That's it. That's all they're going to do for weeks. I'm talking weeks, if not months, because there's a way that we answer phones. There's a way we take a call. There's a way there's a way we drive our trucks. There's a way we look. The uniform code, it's a code. Many things I could go on with that, but it matters. It matters to me. If it matters to you, then you're going to do things very similar. So, improved employee performance, because trained people, now get this, trained people have more confidence. And if you want your team to represent you well, they need to be confident in what they do. And we have a tier system. I've talked about this before. The tier system, it's 1 through 6, 1 through 7, depending on the department. 7 sets of tiers with line items per tier. When they come in, they start with tier 1, and it might be memorizing the mission statement. It might be knowing the uniform code. It's going to be the basics. Number 1 is going to be the basics. What's this? It's a gas valve. You get my point. That's tier 1 is going to be stuff like that. Knowing, understanding the McAfee way. If you don't get the McAfee way down, you can't get to tier 2. Okay? So, but when we're done training, these guys are confident. They're ready to go. Because I've had several guys, we've had several people come in and say, I did graduate, but I'll be honest with you, I'm not ready to be in a truck yet. Well, what a relief. That's a breath of fresh air when someone says that. Because a lot of guys get out of school, they think they're ready for a truck, and they can go somewhere and be thrown in a truck. Because I know companies around here that'll hire guys out of school, let them ride with them for a few days and throw them in a truck and say, go. Scary, very scary. All right. Number 2, training improves employee satisfaction and morale. People today want to be part of something that's happening. They want to be part of the future. I remember years and years ago when I was putting applications in for my first job, that one company had no desire to have a computerized office. I mean, this was back in the early 90s. Late 80s. I started McAfee in 1990. This was the later 80s. And I remember, and I went and interviewed somewhere else, and they were in the process for the first time putting computers in their office. People want to be part of things happening, not yesterday, today. People want to work for companies they can represent well and be proud of. And if they're trained properly, it boosts their morale. they feel appreciated, they feel challenged, and people want to feel challenged today. And the training opportunities gives them more satisfaction toward coming in every day. I just walked by our training room, and it had 5 or 6 people in it with an instructor, and they're just basically learning about the basics of air conditioning startups. It's March. It's March today. It's in March 5th, and in Ohio, we're going to start doing checkups. It was 27 degrees, by the way, this morning, high of like 45 today. But we have a tent system. We cover the condenser, and basically that heats up, that simulates a hotter day. We turn the furnace on, get the house up a little bit warmer. We simulate a warmer day, and we can do checkups, in 30-some degree weather, 40-degree weather, and we're ahead of the game. So anyway, also training can address weaknesses. Let's face it, when you're training someone, you kind of figure out what they know and what they don't know, and we're very upfront with people. We let them know that their schooling, vocational school, is just scratching the surface of what they're going to need to know here. So we're okay with them not knowing everything. We'd rather train them our way anyway. But it does point out some weaknesses when you're training someone, so you know what to work on. You know what they need. You know what their strengths and their weaknesses are, and then you can focus on training them what they need to know. It also increases productivity. Let's face it. If I can get someone trained, and I can get them in trained properly, and get them in a truck, let's say within 6 months. What we do at McAfee is they start off as a technician. They start off in maintenance. In installation, they start off as a helper. In installation, they start off as a helper, and if they're interested, they can work into a lead installer. If they're not, they can become the best helper, and we need lots of those. But in service department, they start off as a maintenance tech, and they start off with McAfee installed equipment, which is all McAfee brand, and they know the ins and outs of all the McAfee brands we install, models rather, and that's what they do. But if I can get someone in a maintenance truck, then that's more maintenance we can run. And then a maintenance person is trained over, probably spending over a year in maintenance, or sometimes 2, and then they work their way into a service technician. And then a service technician, when I get another service technician added, boy, that really relieves the stress of the other techs, because now they've got another guy to be on call. Now they've got another one to run calls, less calls per day on a busy day if you can spread it out more, as you guys know. So training reduces employee turnover. I mean, people are more likely to stay with a company who spends time training and who trains properly. So it reduces turnover, and you know how much recruitment costs today. Recruiting someone's extremely expensive. So at McAfee, which you can read a lot about in my book, but at McAfee, we spend a lot of time on soft skills, non-technical, and we spend a lot of time on technical skills. Soft skills can be how to talk to a customer, how to deal with a customer, how to suggest to a customer that they might consider replacing or repairing, all that kind of stuff. So those are soft skills. And we have classes on, when I said uniform code, we have classes on how to wear your uniform and what color belt to wear and what kind of shoes to wear. And if you wear a t-shirt under it, what button do you button? And if you don't wear a t-shirt under it, what button do you button? All those things matter to me. It matters to me. It trickles down. If it doesn't matter to you, that's fine. Whatever matters to you, then that's what you need to teach. It also, wrapping it up here, it also enhances company reputation. I will say this. When a McAfee employee decides to leave McAfee for some reason, and there's multiple reasons, you guys know that. If they decide to leave McAfee, they are looked upon as a hot commodity, okay? They worked at McAfee. This company knows they are extremely well trained, and they want that guy bad. And if there's any disadvantage to being number one in your industry locally or nationally, who knows? If there's any disadvantage to that, it's other companies coming after your people and offering them really ridiculous amounts of money because they know they don't have to spend the time in training. They know they can put them in a truck tomorrow and it's going to get done right. So the advantage of, if there's any byproduct of that happening, it's just making the trade better. At least when someone leaves here, I know they're trained right. But it enhances our reputation, and customers know. Customers have the confidence in knowing that if a McAfee technician or installer or air duct cleaner or anyone comes out to their house, if a salesperson comes out to their house, they have confidence in knowing we know what we're doing, we're going to do it right, we've been trained right, and the NATE certification is great, but we don't need the NATE certification at McAfee just to be the best, because we're going to train that anyway. But I'm a firm believer in the NATE certification, and most of my team is NATE certified, and we do have testing right here at McAfee and all that stuff. So I'm a firm believer in that because it just raises the bar and helps them, helps our company, helps our technicians, and helps our customers be more confident. So having a strong, successful training strategy develops people beyond what they knew they were capable of doing, which again raises confidence. I want to surround myself with confident people, and I like my team all the way down to a driver to be confident in what he does or what she does. So it's a responsibility, I guess, from my viewpoint. I've talked about this before, but I'm a Christian. I believe in Jesus, and Jesus died for me, and I'm a Christian. And if you follow any biblical principles, I'm just a steward. I don't own this place. God owns it. I manage it. I want to be a great manager. So it's my responsibility to train people properly. If I'm going to be a good manager, I'm going to train people the best I can. I'm going to provide the best training. I'm going to provide them with skills so they can provide well for their family, and so on. So it's a make or break. Those companies who spend and invest money in training are the most successful companies around your area. If there's companies around your area that are doing better than you, they probably train more than you. So take training serious because it matters, but also it starts with you. How much time are you spending in training? I spend every day in some sort of training every single day. I'm in here at 6 a.m., sometimes earlier, but basically on average 6 a.m., and I do a study guide every morning of some sort to help improve me and to train me to be a better manager, to train me to be a better leader. And then my expectations are for everyone to spend a lot of time in training to improve themselves and to I want them to be so good they can make as much money as possible here. And honestly, I tell guys all the time, the sky's the limit. The more you do, the more you know, the more you make. And that's a fact. So I hope this helps. And I hope you now look at training in a different way, because it's extremely serious. So have a great day. Carry on, and I'll see you next time.